What's up guys, Charles from TreeTanksDev. Welcome to a new video, and right now I'm filming on my latest camera that I just bought over the weekend, which is a micro four thirds camera, which only cost me $250 guys, so pretty cool. Right now I'm filming on this Panasonic GF10 at 1080p 60 frames per second. And how does the video quality look like? This is the box, so I got this, like I said, $250 guys. 4K 30 frames per second with a recording limit of 5 minutes, but if you shoot in full HD you can go up to 30 minutes, so that's pretty cool. 16 megapixels interchangeable lens camera, so I got a lot of micro four thirds camera that I use on my Panasonic G9, so I'm going to test it out in the next video whether this $250 camera is good enough here in 2021. So coming back to today's video, my Nikon Z6II, which I bought last month with the 24mm f1.8 Nikkor Z lens. Total cost would be about $3,500 US. So far I've been loving this camera. If you want to watch a sample movie that I filmed on this setup, the Nikon Z6II with the 24mm handheld, you can click on the top right hand corner of the screen to check out that movie that we did last month. Coming back to today's video, Zhiyun Weebill-S. So in the previous video we balanced it on the DJI Ronin SE, which was pretty surprising. I didn't expect such a big camera like this to fit the DJI Ronin SE, but surprisingly enough it wasn't much of a hassle. So today's setup will be on the Zhiyun Weebill-S. So let's take a look at what are the parts required to set up your Nikon Z6II with this long giant lens on the Weebill-S. So here's the stuff required to set up in the Nikon Z6II on the Weebill-S. Firstly, get the quick release plate. It comes in 2 pieces. Get 1 screw will do. Unless your setup is different from mine, you can use the camera riser. And if you do use the camera riser, then you need 2 screws inside of the quick adjustment plate. So take note of that. Instead of 1, you need 2 screws if only use the camera riser. Next up will be the lens support and the lens support screw. And last of all, get this cable, micro USB to USB Type-C cable. The angle head always goes into the Weebill-S. Okay, so first thing we want to do is get ready your Nikon Z6II for mounting. So in this setup tutorial, I will be mounting the Nikon Z6II with the lens hood, but for now, since that we're doing the mounting, we need to mount the quick release plate underneath the Nikon Z6II. We need to remove the lens cap for the moment. So remove the lens hood, remove the lens hood for the moment. Lens cap, you definitely need to remove it, so we just put it aside. We totally won't be using the lens cap, but for the lens hood, just for the moment, we need to remove it because we want to mount your quick release plate. And last of all, open up the side flap. That's where the USB-C cable will be plugged into, so just open it up. Next up, split your quick release plate into 2 pieces by pressing this metal button. Press it and you can split it into 2. And this piece goes under the camera with 1 metal screw, as you can see over here. So at the front you can see that's where the lens support is supposed to be. So this should be in the same direction of the lens, like that. Flip it around and then just screw the metal screw into the bottom hole of your Nikon Z6II. Just use your fingers. And for this portion over here, what we want to do is we want the end of the base plate to actually be in line with the bottom over here. We want it to be in line. We don't want it to be in line with the LCD screen. Reason being is that this lens is pretty long. If we put it all the way where the LCD screen is, like that, your lens support will be some sort on the thread of your lens, so we don't want that, just in case you want to do some manual shooting. So we can just line it up with this bottom over here so that the lens support will fall exactly on the plastic area of the lens and not on the thread. So just about there. You can do a quick measurement as long as the lens support is not on the thread. Alright, so screw it in. You can do a measurement, take your lens support, place it in the front, and make sure that the lens support is not on the threads but on the lens plastic itself. Once that's good, take your coin and tighten the screw as much as possible because it will slide while you're moving around. So make it as tight as possible and make sure that it's flushed. Make sure that it's straight. So that's good, nice and straight. Next up, take your lens support, put it underneath the lens, like that. Put your screw in and screw it in tight. So you can see that it's not on the threads, it's on the lens itself, and this should be supporting the lens, touching the sides, like that. It looks good, so all properly set up. So right now we're gonna attach this piece to the bottom by pressing the metal. Press it in and attach it to the front, and it should attach like this. Next up, this screw over here, press it in, push it in first, and then tighten it. All good to go. Super simple. So now what you can do is you can attach the lens hood. Okay, screw it on. So I got the lens hood on. The flap is open up, so we're ready to mount it. Also prepare your USB-C cable. Okay, so before I continue the Zhiyun Weebill-S, I just want to point out that this video was edited in Final Cut Pro and color graded using MLUTs. So if you want to get MLUTs, go to motionvfx.com. They have tons and tons of LUT packs for you to purchase. Some of them are even free. You can get effects, transitions, plugins, all for your video editing needs. So head on down to motionvfx.com and check it out. Alright, so coming back to the Zhiyun Weebill-S. Right now it's all locked, so unlock all the 3 axes, which are the buttons in red. Turn it around and make sure, for easy reference, the joystick is facing yourself like this. The axis over here should be just above the joystick and stuff. So now lock all the axes back. Once you open it up, let it sit like this, opened up. Next up, get your Nikon Z6II, slot it in. There is a metal screw, metal button for you to press over here. Press that in, you can slide it all the way in. So first up, we're going to balance the tilt axis over here. This is the tilt axis. So what you got to do, unlock the tilt axis over here. Here's the button. Unlock that. Okay, so now it will be tilting back and forth. So adjust it until it sits like that without moving. Make any adjustments if it's maybe tilting slightly forwards. If that's good, does it look straight? The lever over here, push it to the left to tighten it. So that looks good. So easy enough, one axis done. Now we're gonna do the tilt up. So in order to do the tilt up, we gotta loosen the screw on top here. So loosen that, and then you can shift it downwards. And if it sits like that, tighten it, give it a good screw in. This screw over here, tighten it back once it sits without you touching it. The axis over here, I'm at 2.5, just to let you know. And this axis over here, I am at a 1. So again, this axis over here, but we just adjusted for the tilt. This is a 1, and this over here is a 2.5. So we got that done. Lock the axis back. Make sure that it's locked in place. Now we're going to do the left to right tilt. So in order to do that, unlock the roll axis, unlock the roll axis, and okay, for mine it's pretty much balanced. Make sure that it's not tilting left and right. If it is, there is a lever over here. You can see just in front of the roll axis there's a lever. Loosen that and adjust it left and right. Left and right. Once it sits, push the lever to the right. If it stays like this, means it's good. It's not tilting to the left or the right. Awesome. done. And we come to the pan axis last of all, the bottom one here. In order to unlock that, the lock is over here in red. Unlock that, so now you can tilt. Okay, for this one is you need a little strength. So what you gotta do is, in order to see if it's balanced, you need to use one hand, pick it up, tilt it to the side, and if it drops, means it's not balanced. So we need to make the adjustment over here over here. So there's a lock over here, so unscrew that, then you can shift it front or back. So let's see this now, we were at 2, now I move it to 2.5. Nope, it's worse. So going back to the 2 again. Oh yeah, so now it's at about a 1.9 instead of a 2. So just a really minor adjustment from 2, adjusted it to 1.9, and now you can see a lot of difference. So basically that's it, it's balanced. So last of all, get your USB Type-C cable. So for this end, the right angle head goes into this portion over here. This is the micro USB. Plug the micro USB into the Weebill-S, and the USB Type-C cable goes into your Nikon Z6II. And there you have it, all done guys, setup complete. Okay, so next up we're going to unlock all the axes. Make sure all the axes are unlocked. Once that's good, once you got your USB cable plugged in, power on the Weebill-S and power on your... Alright, so next up, once it's power on, before you do anything, go into your ZY Play app. Make sure that it's updated to the latest ZY Play app. Make sure you're under Pro Cameras. In the top right hand corner you can see Pro Cameras, and then make sure you hit the connect now. Click connect, then you want to click the enter now button. Okay, so make sure that your firmware on this Weebill-S is updated. So at the top right hand corner, click that, go under device information, and make sure you are at 2.03. If you are not at 2.03, the Weebill-S will not be able to connect to your Weebill-S, because this is the latest firmware update for your Nikon Z6II. Anything lower than that may not be able to work. So make sure that the OTA version is 2.03. If there is a firmware update, they will update you at the top over here that a new firmware is available. So right now on the Weebill-S, you can see that full connectivity. I'm going to swap my Weebill-S down to manual. Yeah, so firstly, what I want to do, the bottom dial over here, you can actually move it right and move it left, and this should control the aperture. I'll show you on the camera as well as I change it. So you can see I'm going to make the adjustments, and you can see over here it will change as well. So if that works, it's a good indication that the connection is correct. Then you can also press to the right. This will be your shutter speed. You can make the adjustments. Press right again, you get ISO and the exposure compensation, so you can easily swap this. But first up, what I like to do is, you can see that it's indicated PF mode, so you know what mode you're on as well. In order to prevent accidental touching, you can press the up button twice. You can see the lock there, so that prevents accidental touching. Now the next step before you can start filming, press the down button, go into motor, and go into auto. Press the right to go into auto, and it should auto tune. And once that's done, you're all good to go. Check OK. Okay, so all done. Last of all, check if the record button works. You press the record button over here, the record button. I'm going to press that, and it should record on my camera as well. Ta-da! Alright, so it's recording, and if you press it, it should stop recording. And there you have it, all good to go, all done. Pretty simple setup. And if you have an issue just like me, whereby you can see the leveler is not green, that means it's tilting a little bit to the left. So in order to fix that, my Weebill-S is about more than a year old and I've used it quite a lot, so naturally wear and tear that happens. In order to fix that, go into your camera, your app, sorry, the Weebill-S app, and how you make the adjustment to make it level. Go under motor calibration, and you can see, play around with this, and you will see on your Weebill it will start moving as well. Okay, now I'm at -2, confirm, save, and close. And you can see right now, since I adjusted it to -2, you can see now that the leveler is green. You can see that the leveler is green, so all good to go. So that's how you make minor adjustments on the axis if you require. So yeah, basically that's it. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this simple setup tutorial. Nikon Z6II with the Nikkor Z 24mm f1.8 S lens on the Zhiyun Weebill-S. If you have any questions, leave your comments in the comment section. Next video I will be doing a full review on this Panasonic GF10. Like I said, 250 bucks. 16 megapixels, 4K 30 frames per second at 100 megabits. Is it any good? Is it worth it? Do remember to subscribe and hit the notifications button to keep up with all of my videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.